So if you are new, my name is Keith, and I'm a meditation teacher. And every Wednesday, we look at different topics and how we can meditate on them, essentially, right? How we can use meditation to make our lives better, right? Be happier, be more peaceful, be kinder, all these great things. Gail, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. You picked a great session to come to. This is my favorite topic, right? So today's topic, maybe you could have guessed this. Hey, Sully, maybe you could have guessed this. But it's on gratitude, right? At least in the States, this is Thanksgiving tomorrow. And so it felt like a good time to do a meditation / discussion on what is gratitude and what it can do for us, right? And if you've been coming for a while, we have talked a lot about gratitude in the past, but this is a great opportunity to revisit it because it's really important. It's my favorite topic, and I think that you will enjoy it as well. Right? So our itinerary for today, don't worry if you're new. We're going to talk about meditation in general too, right? So that our itinerary is we're going to talk a little bit about what is meditation. You know, maybe this is your first time ever hearing about it or trying it. So we're going to talk about what is meditation in general. Then we'll do a short breathing meditation, which is kind of your first foray into meditation itself. Then we're going to talk about gratitude, and then we're going to do a meditation on gratitude specifically. All right. Welcome, newbies. Yeah, a lot of looks like a lot of new people here, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so ask me questions, right? Those that have been coming here for a while, you can ask me questions at any time. I'll stop what I'm doing and answer them. That's the beauty of this, the live format. So take advantage of it. And if you are not comfortable typing in the chat, that's totally fine. You can email me. I'll put my email in the chat later for you towards the end. You have to stay to the end to get the email. All right? Okay. So, what is meditation? Right? Meditation is a method of familiarization, right? That's how we define it, right? It's a technique to familiarize your mind with something, right? And familiarization is extremely important in everything that we do, right? The example I usually use is like driving a car, right? If I were to ask you, is driving a car easy or hard? You right now have probably been driving a long time. You're like, it's easy. You just get in the car, you don't think about it, and you just drive. You're not like thinking about it. But there was a time when driving was not so simple, right? It required a lot of concentration, right? Here's the gas, here's the brake. Oh, I better remember that. That's important, right? Okay, here's the rear view. How do I change the way the rear view mirror is looking? Like all these things, right? It was complicated, right? When it was not as familiar to us, right? But then over the course of practice, we've taken something that was quite foreign to us, right? We've never done it before, and now it's like second nature, right? We can just do it. So meditation is a way of doing this for our mind, right? A way of developing familiarity in some of our emotions, feelings, things like patience. That's a good one, right? Patience is a great example because, patience and anger are kind of like the opposites, right? So easy to get angry, right? So hard to be patient. Why? Because we're familiar with anger, right? We're a lot more familiar with anger than we are patience, right? So meditation is a way of choosing what we want to familiarize our mind with. Do we want to familiarize it with patience? Do we want to familiarize it with gratitude? Do we want to familiarize it with being calm or being anxious, right? So that's the kind of concept of what meditation is aiming to do, right? But in order to do this, right, in order to gain some insight into these things, we first have to relax our mind, right? Because when your mind is all over the place, panicked, anxious, and what have you, not really working that great. And I don't know if you've noticed. I certainly have noticed mine doesn't work that great, right? We're not really thinking as clearly. We're really stressed, right? It's just things aren't as easy, right? When our mind is extremely busy in that way, right? So our first step is to relax our mind. And one analogy that I use a lot here is if you imagine a still lake, right? Very calm lake. You could see and describe the reflection in that lake very easily, right? You're like, oh, there's mountains, grass, beautiful, there's flowers. Then if it starts to rain a little bit, not so easy to describe the reflection, right? It's not as clear. The more rain, the less clear the reflection is in the lake. And you're like, oh, what does this have to do with my mind? Well, our mind is normally a still lake. By default, our mind is very peaceful, very calm, very relaxed, right? Very clear. But all of the anxieties and stress and distractions, all of these thoughts that are constantly bouncing around in our head all day long, they're like these raindrops falling on the lake, right? And it makes it hard for us to think clearly and objectively, be reasonable, be calm. So we got to clear away some of the raindrops, right? Some. Always got to emphasize that. I know we might be ambitious. We want to get rid of all of them. We'll get there. But even if we only clear away some, man, we can see the reflection more clearly, right? So that's our goal when we're starting meditation, is to learn how to relax our mind a little bit, to clear away some of those raindrops, right? And the way that we do that is with breathing meditation, or as it's formally called, single-pointed concentration. Very fancy, right? All that means is focusing on one thing, right? We're going to focus so much on one thing that other things seem to fade away, right? So if you've ever been in the zone at work, working on something really diligently, I lose track of time. We don't hear the sounds in the office that are going around, right? Our phone's ringing. We don't even hear it. Like, amazing, right? It's like it's not even there. It's the same kind of concept, right? So we're going to focus so much on our breathing and what breathing feels like, and really get plugged into breathing, that those thoughts and worries and anxieties and kind of bombardments of distractions, they're going to start to fade away a little bit, and we're going to relax. We're going to clear away some of the raindrops, and our mind is going to become still, like the lake, right? Does that make sense? Is it? How annoyed are you guys who have been here for a while keep hearing this? Just mute it for the first 5 minutes. So why do we use our breath, right? You can meditate on anything. Why do we use our breath to start? Using your breath is really important because your breath's always with you, right? That's what we want. If meditation only works when we're like sitting down, for 30 minutes or whatever, like, it's not really that helpful. We want to be able to use it when we need it, right? We're not always going to be in our perfect meditation space, right? So if we get used to using our breath as like this focal point of relaxation, well, we can tap into that whenever we need to, whenever we want to, right? And it teaches us really that we don't need these perfect conditions to meditate, to be able to relax, to be able to be more calm, right? We don't need to retreat to the mountaintop, right? Or have perfect silence. I don't know about you. It's never perfect silence. It's just not a thing. It doesn't happen. You have to really try hard to get that. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do a breathing meditation where we focus on our breathing, right? And then when we notice that we're not focusing on our breathing anymore, which will 100% happen to you, we're just going to be like, okay, bringing my attention back to focusing on breathing, right? That's it. That's the whole thing, right? Does that sound manageable? Does that sound good? And don't worry, I'm going to guide it. That's my job. Crystal says her lake is clear and she's ready for SPC contemplation. Crystal is ready. Crystal, great to see you as always. Okay. If you do have questions, please ask. Part of this is going to be like, we're closing our eyes and doing a little meditation. So obviously I can't read the questions when my eyes are closed, but they will be there when I open them, and I will answer them then. Okay. So let's do a little breathing meditation now, and then we'll get into talking about gratitude. So if you're sitting in a chair, that's great. You're just here to listen to my sweet voice. Why, thank you. If you're sitting in a chair, that's great. If you're sitting down on a cushion, that's great. If you're on the floor, none of this matters, right? Just wherever you are is fine. You don't have to like change anything about where you're sitting or whatever. You just want to be comfortable, whatever's comfortable for you, right? And you can go ahead and close your eyes and just follow along with what I'm saying. We're going to do a short breathing meditation, about 5 minutes. Okay. Whenever we start a meditation, the first thing we do is check in with ourselves. How are you feeling right now? Happy, sad, excited, nervous, tired, indifferent, whatever it is, it does not matter. All that matters is you notice. Notice what your mind is doing. This is called mindfulness. Maybe you've heard that word before. Mindfulness is being aware of what your mind is doing moment to moment, so you can skillfully react to it. So what is your mind doing right now? And then you can turn your full attention to your breathing. You are breathing in and out of your nose, very gently, very naturally. In and out. You do not need to take big, deep breaths or forcefully exhale. We're just breathing normally. In and out. See if you're able to follow your full breath in and your full breath out. And at some point, you may notice your attention has drifted. It's thinking about something that happened earlier, or maybe something coming up later. Whenever you notice this, just gently guide your attention back to your breathing, back to following your full breath in and your full breath out. In and out, very gently, very naturally. Allow yourself to relax. Allow yourself to enjoy sitting here, enjoy breathing. Keep bringing your attention back to your breath as many times as you need to. This practice of focusing on your breathing and then bringing your attention back to it when it drifts is meditation. You are meditating right now. You are training your mind to relax, to be calm, to become familiar with peacefulness. How wonderful. So just enjoy sitting here, breathing in and out, following your breath for a little while longer. Okay. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How'd that go? Any first timers willing to say how that went? All answers are correct. So that was a very basic breathing meditation, right? It wasn't that long. It was only in a 5-minute range, right? You can do shorter. A lot of times people ask, how long should I meditate? The answer is whatever you can commit to regularly. That's the only thing that matters. Digital Guy. Love the name. It was very nice. I'm glad to hear that. So whatever you can commit to regularly is where you should start with meditation, right? Meditating for an hour once a month is not really that helpful. Meditating for a minute once a day is way more helpful, right? So that's where we should start. It was difficult to stay focused, Gail said. Very good, as it should be, right? Why would this be easy? Do you ever do this? No, we're not familiar with it, right? We're not familiar with doing this, right? What are we familiar with? Multitasking, thinking about as many things as possible. We are not familiar with focusing on one thing. Oftentimes we think we're like wasting our time when we're doing it, right? You ever think that? Like, oh my God, there's so much more I could be doing right now, right? One thing, Peggy, hard to focus. Oh, Julia, very relaxing. You were distracted at first, but got into it later. Excellent, right? That's really the progression that you're going to experience. And look, I've been doing this a long time. It still is difficult, right? But through practice, it'll become more familiar, just like driving the car, right? That example. Lori, difficult. These are very good observations, right? A lot of times when people start meditating, one of the most common things that I hear is my mind is busier when I meditate, right? Busier when I meditate, right? Actually, you're just noticing how busy your mind is all day long normally. Your mind is jumping from thing to thing all day long. Sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Because it is. And so this is why we have such a hard time relaxing, why we feel so mentally exhausted and stressed, because our mind is doing what you noticed it doing through this little exercise, right? But over time, you're going to be able to train your mind to focus on one thing, and you're going to start to see those thoughts and distractions just kind of fade away. They're just going to not be there, as they're not going to be as loud, right? Hammering, right? But when you're starting, it's important to have realistic expectations, right? This is a new thing, right? It would be like getting into a car and expecting to be like a, I don't know, race car driver or something, right? It takes time, right? You're going to have to practice this, right? Steve, word for me, distractions minimal. Excellent, Steve, right? So just the fact that you are practicing this is training, right? You are meditating, right? That's why I like to say that in the meditation, you are meditating, because it doesn't matter if it's a tough day or not. You're doing it, you're practicing, and you're making progress. It's going to become easier over time. Okay? Sound good? Any other questions on breathing meditation or meditation in general? So let's moving on. You can always ask if something comes up. This is not like the last time I'll answer. Can you meditate with your eyes open? Sometimes I have them open, but I'm still staying focused. Yes. Closing your eyes is not necessary. In fact, very traditional meditation, your eyes are like kind of like half closed. It's whatever is best for you. I like closing my eyes because I feel like I get visually distracted easily. And that's pretty common with people. But if you find that having your eyes open or half open or whatever it is working for you, then stay with that. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever helps you focus, right? Great question, Crystal. Okay. So that's a little intro to what meditation is, right? Now, we've cleared away some of the raindrops on the lake, right? To go back to that analogy, right? We've relaxed our mind a little bit, right? We can see the reflection more clearly on the lake. We're not just going to walk away. We want to look at that reflection, right? So this is the second part of meditation, right? We relax our mind, and then we use that relaxed mind, even if it's only a little more relaxed, we use it productively to investigate something, to learn, right? To become familiar with something. That's what we were talking about before, right? So today we're going to discuss and then meditate on gratitude. This part of meditation is called contemplation. Maybe you've heard of that. Another fancy word you could throw around. So we're going to look at gratitude, right? Very timely, at least for those in the States. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, right? And what is like the kind of unwritten common thing that we all do in Thanksgiving? We go around the table, we say what we're thankful for, right? It's a very nice thing to do, right? Say what we're grateful for. What kind of things come up when we say that? Maybe our job, our house, the food. That's a common one. The food, thankful for the food, right? All those things, they come from people, right? Who built your house? Probably not you, right? Health, good one. Health comes from people, right? The ability to go to a doctor, to the healthy food that we're eating to nourish our body comes from other people. All these things that we are thankful for, they come from others. They come from other people, right? Ultimately. Other people are involved in them, right? Now, sometimes people come up at Thanksgiving, right, when we're saying what we're thankful for, right? Thankful for our family. There we go, Lori. That's where I'm getting. Parents, friends, family, right? Comes up a lot, right? What about the grocery store clerk? Do they come up? Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been at every Thanksgiving dinner, but at mine, the grocery store clerk did not come up, right? Why? We don't really think about them that much, to be honest, right? So essentially, we have developed, right, unbeknownst to us, all of us have developed what I will refer to as the tiers of importance. Workers who show up. That was a good one. So tiers of importance, right? Who is at the center, the most important, right? It's us, right? We gotta be honest with ourselves. It's us. For me, it's me. For you, it's you, right? Self, the concept of self, right? And then we branch out a little bit more into tier one importance. Who's that? There's the family. There's the friends, right? Those are people that we recognize how important they are, recognize how much they benefit us, right? And so we care about them. We have compassion to them. We're grateful for them being in our lives, right? We recognize their importance, right? What about we expand it a little more? Tier two. Who's there? Maybe our acquaintances. Work colleagues is a good one here, right? People you see, pretty regularly, but maybe you're not going to go to their birthday party or so. I don't know, they're kind of important to you, right? But only kind of, right? And then what about further out? Tier three. Who's that? That's pretty much everyone else. Right? It's like everyone else, right? Falls into that tier three category, right? Kind of like extras in the movie of our life, so to speak. So this is an interesting thing that we do, right? Having this tier system. And we can see that this tier system exists by looking at an example of how we react to a situation depending on which tier the affected person is, right? So let's say you wake up, go outside, go to your mailbox, get the mail, and you like do a double take because your car is not there, right? And after some clever deductions, you realize your car has been stolen. How would you react to that, to your car being stolen? You'd probably be pretty upset, right? Maybe you start to ruminate. Oh, how can this happen? I can't afford a new car. How am I going to get to work, right? Who would do that? Like, we're all over the place, right? Thinking about all the ways this is going to impact us negatively, right? Okay, well, what if now, let's rewind, and you walk out to your mailbox to go get your newspaper or whatever, your mail, and you get a call, and it's your best friend. And they're like, you're not going to believe this. My car was just stolen. And you're like, what? How did this happen, right? And we're like, oh, I can't believe this is awful. Do you need a ride? Let me know if you need a ride to work. I'll drive you, right? There's that level of compassion there for them, right? But if we're being honest, the panic is not the same as when it's our car, right? Do you think that's true? It's not the same, right? There's some worry there, but it's not the same. All right. Now, what about acquaintances? What about that next tier that we talked about? Acquaintances. Maybe your work colleagues. Yeah, you get into work and you're walking to your desk or something, and somebody passes by. Hey, you remember? Do you remember Kyle from finance? You're like, no, I don't. Kyle, and then Kyle, the short hair, or whatever. And you're like, oh, Kyle, yeah, I know Kyle. But you're not gonna believe this. Kyle's car got stolen. And what would you say? You'd be like, oh my God, that sucks. How did it happen, right? But maybe we're not offering to drive Kyle to work, right? It's a different level of worry and compassion, even though the situation's the exact same. A car has been stolen, right? Now, what about tier 3? Everybody else, strangers, I guess you could refer to them as. Right? Strangers' cars get stolen every day. Sometimes we hear about it, right? Say we're walking out to our mailbox and 2 people we've never seen before, they're like, oh, then Jim's car got stolen. You don't know who Jim is. And if you even notice that they're talking about it, what might you say? Boy, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. All right? Have you ever said that before? I say it all the time. We all do. Right? What is that implying? Isn't that an interesting thing to think about? What is that implying when we say that? I'm glad that they're suffering and not me, essentially, is what we're saying, right? I'm glad that didn't happen to me. I would have been bad if it happened to me. Not as bad happening to them, bad happening to me, right? So we can see that depending on who of the tiers is involved in the situation, our reaction is very different. Very, very different, right? You might be like, oh, okay, well, what is this? Why does this matter? Yeah. Well, it matters because tier 3 is the most people in the world, right? So when we think about our kind of net of gratitude, our net of people that we recognize their importance and really care about and feel compassionate about, then our net isn't that large. It's actually quite small, right? Makes sense, right? It's harder to recognize the importance of somebody on our life the further away they are from the tiers. That's like kind of what we're getting at here, right? So when we're meditating on gratitude, when we're focusing on the idea of gratitude through meditation, what we're trying to do is bring tier 3 closer to tier 1, right? Don't worry about bringing it to us at the old center. Not get there yet. We'd bring it to tier 1, right? Why? right? Because when we firmly recognize how important somebody is, right, we naturally want to be kind to them, right? We naturally develop compassion. We naturally develop the wish to help them. These are all wonderful things. And they start to come natural. That's what we want, right? To have it be natural, not have to force it, right? Like, let's say you get a gift from somebody, right? What happens? Somebody gives you a gift. You're like, oh my God, that's so kind. And then there's like this instinctual feeling that you want to give them a gift, right? Or repay their kindness in some way. Maybe you do it, maybe you don't. But like there's this kind of feeling, right? That you want to repay this kindness, right? Because we recognize how kind they were, right? So what is gratitude? Gratitude is the recognition of kindness in others and then the wish to repay it, right? And recognizing the kindness in others comes from realizing how important they are to us, right? How important all of these tier 3 people that we don't really think about that much actually are to our lives. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So we're going to do a meditation on this. This is my favorite meditation. Yay. It actually is legitimately my favorite. You know, maybe you think, oh, I'm just saying that. It's not. I'm not just saying that. It is my favorite. And one of the reasons is that this meditation that we're going to do together on gratitude is something that you can do all day long, even when you're not meditating. We'll talk about how you can do that. But it's extremely practical. And the goal is to start to recognize how vitally important people are in literally everything that you have, that you've done, that you've accomplished, all of it. All these people are involved in making that happen. And a lot of them, the vast majority of them, are in this tier 3 category that we don't think about a lot. So we're going to think about them. That's the point of the meditation. We're going to think about them, and we're going to start to develop gratitude towards them. We're going to be thankful for everybody, right? Does that sound like a good plan on this Thanksgiving Eve? Any questions before we get started? If not, that's fine. You can always ask later. Okay, so we're going to start this off the way that we started the last one off, right? We're going to clear away some of the raindrops, right? And then we're going to look at the reflection, right? And essentially what that boils down to is we're going to do a breathing meditation, and then I'm going to guide us through a contemplation, meditation, whatever you want to call it, on gratitude. And your job in that part is just to listen, think about it, and if any part of it pops out to you as like, I call them aha moments, right? Moments where you go, aha, right? If any of those moments pop up to you, just kind of pay attention to them, like sit with that moment, right? That is your mind becoming familiar with a concept or an idea or something, right? So those are important things to look out for, right? That's contemplation. Okay. Without further ado, let's do it. Okay, so you can sit comfortably or lay down. Sit in a chair, doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing is wonderful. And go ahead and close your eyes again, and we'll start with a little breathing meditation, and then I'll guide us through our meditation on gratitude. Okay? So you can go ahead and close your eyes. Let's just check in once again. How are you feeling now? Different? The same? Whatever it is, just notice We're noticing what our mind feels like. What is it doing right now? Just notice. And having checked in, we can turn our attention once again to our breathing in and out of our nose, very gently, very naturally. Try and follow each breath in its entirety. Follow your full breath in and your full breath out. Maybe your attention has drifted. If it has, just gently guide it back. Guide your attention back to following your full breath in and your full breath out. Just breathe in and out gently and naturally. As you start to plug in to your breathing, to focus on it single pointedly, you might notice some things about your breath that you hadn't noticed before, some sensations. How the air feels cool on the tip of your nose as you breathe in, and how it feels a bit warmer as you breathe out. Your shoulders rising and falling, your whole body moving with each breath. You're beginning to notice some subtle joys about breathing. You're beginning to enjoy breathing. This is meditation. You are a meditator. You are training your mind to relax, to be calm, to be peaceful and happy. And you're doing it all on your own with nothing other than your breath. How wonderful. How wonderful to be able to sit here and relax and enjoy breathing in and out very gently, very naturally. So after focusing on our breathing in this way, maybe you find yourself feeling even just a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more calm. We've cleared away some of the raindrops that were falling on the lake. We can now see the reflection in the lake more clearly. We can use our relaxed mind that we have created here. We can use it to investigate something, to learn. Today, we're going to investigate gratitude and the kindness of others in our life. So as I said, just follow along and pay attention for any of those aha moments. This morning, you presumably woke up in a home or an apartment. Who built that home? Who built that apartment? Others. Other people. The home or apartment was built using tools. Those tools were made by others. The materials needed to craft the tools, gathered, refined, produced by others still. Countless other people involved in making your home or your apartment. When you woke up, maybe you woke up in a bed. Who built that bed? Who created the mattress, the frame, the box spring, the comforters, the sheets, the pillows? All of these things designed by others, created by others, so that you can wake up rested, ready to take on your day. How kind of them to do that. Maybe you took a shower before going to work. Who ran all that plumbing? Ensuring that you get water into your home. Others. Somebody created a way for you to select the exact temperature you want on your shower so you can enjoy it. How kind of them to spend so much time coming up with that idea. Maybe we had some breakfast. Some fruit, perhaps. Think of all the people involved in putting that piece of fruit in your hand. Someone planted the seeds, tended to the crops, harvested them, handpicked the ones that would be the best, packaged them. That package was picked up by somebody in a truck who drove countless miles away from their family for a very long time to deliver it to a grocery store that is managed by others, painstakingly organized, so that we can go into the grocery store, find the exact piece of fruit that we want, and get about our day. How kind. Maybe we drove our car to work. Countless people involved in making all of the parts of that car, ensuring that it's safe for us, building the machines that made the parts. Countless people involved, responsible, necessary for us to drive. You might be thinking to yourself, yes, but I pay for my car with my money, or I pay for this fruit with my money. Where did you get that money? Maybe from your employer, right? Your employer who chose you over so many other people who would love to have your job. How kind of them to choose you. And we may think, yeah, but I was the best candidate. That's why I got the job. Who taught you the skills that made you the best candidate? Maybe you own your own business. Who taught you the skills that you need to do that? Who taught you to add, subtract, to present yourself in a positive way, to read, to write? All of these things were taught to us, given to us by others. We were not born with these skills. They were taught to us by our teachers, our family, acquaintances, strangers. Everything we have accomplished, everything we do or will do is because of other people. If we were to give back everything that other people played a role in giving to us, we would have nothing, right? We were born with nothing. We are interdependent, sort of like cells, all in the same body. We need each other. Everyone from our friends and family to our acquaintances to the grocery store clerk, the barista that makes our coffee, the construction worker working on the roads. Everyone. We are all interdependent. We need each other. And so today, on the eve of Thanksgiving, we can be thankful for all of the kindness given to us by these other people. So just think about that for a little while. Let it sink in. And if a feeling of gratitude, a wish to repay the kindness of others, if that arises, just sit with that. Kind of let yourself soak in that feeling. Okay, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How was your gratitude meditation? That is my favorite one. It's a very interesting one, right? Something common about meditation is like when we think about these things, they seem quite obvious, right? We're like, yeah, other people are involved in everything I do, right? But we don't think about it normally, right? Like we go through so much of our life not thinking about these things when it's right in front of us, right? So meditation is a way to kind of take a step back and look at some of these things and be like, yeah, this makes sense. And then we want to familiarize our mind with it so that way we think about it often. right? We want to think about this often, because then we're going to have an inclination to be kinder to others. Natural compassion, naturally wanting to help those that have helped us. Gratitude to the people who built my house, my car, my temperature-controlled shower. I mean, these are examples I use. I don't know, these are things I think of. But the beauty of this meditation is you can do this outside of meditating, right? So the next time you go and get a cup of coffee from some, Starbucks or whatever, think of all the people involved in putting this cup of coffee in your hand. Who made the cup? Where did the coffee beans come from, right? Somebody actually put that in the cup, right? Maybe there's like a straw that you're using. If it's like an iced coffee, like who created ice cube trays? Like there's in anything that we do, literally anything, any aspect of our life, there are an infinite number of people involved in making that happen, right? And the goal is to, like we said in the beginning, meditation is about familiarization. We want to familiarize ourselves with this concept. That way, the wish to repay the kindness of others with kindness, like that's kind of our gift, right? To be kind, comes naturally, comes more naturally, even to the tier 3, right? Maybe we're good at that with the tier 1, our friends and family, but maybe we need to start thinking about some of the tier 3 group and how they positively influence our life. Does that sound good? So that's your homework, your Thanksgiving homework, right? Just think about it, right? It's like a little game you can play. Thinking about how many people made this Nalgene bottle. Very secure. Right? This is a great invention, right? I drink water out of this every day. It nourishes my body. Who said health? Somebody called out, Zully called out health, right? Being thankful for that. This bottle, the people involved in making it are contributing to my health, right? Countless people involved. Realizing how many people we take for granted instead of being grateful and thankful for how much ease I have in my life. Yes, right? Like we just don't think about it. And it doesn't mean that we're like bad people or something like that. It's just that our mind is very busy, right? And there's no room to think about this unless we stop and think about it, right? And then try to think, are there some benefits in thinking this way, right? And then if there are, we're going to have like natural effort to want to do that. If you firmly recognize the benefits of something, right, you're going to start to have natural effort to practicing it. So we're going to naturally want to practice gratitude towards others. Sound good? Any questions on gratitude or this meditation or anything else that we spoke about, or I don't know, my shirt? I don't know. Any questions? I love this meditation. It's my favorite one to teach and to do. I think it's the most helpful. I think this is the key to being happier, right? I think recognizing how kind other people are and how important they are in our life makes us kinder. And when we're kind to others, we're happy. So this is like our ticket, right? How was my vacation last week? Did I ski? No. It was good though. It was a good vacation. I didn't get any skiing in. Great question. Okay. If you have enjoyed this little chat/meditation session, great. I'm glad. And come back next week. So barring any breaks that I need to take, we do this every Wednesday, and there's a new topic every Wednesday, right? Talk about something else. We'll meditate on it, see if we can get some insight on it. So come back and maybe bring a friend. That's helpful for me and kind of a fun thing to do together. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which will notify you when I'm going live in case you forget. We're very busy lives in case you forget. It's also helpful for me. So there's a kindness both ways there. Joseph, grateful for your weekly class. I'm grateful for you guys, right? So talk about like the importance and kindness. I couldn't do this if you weren't here, right? So like gratitude and the kindness of others is everywhere. Like you guys have very busy lives and you're dedicating an hour of your time to being here with me. That's amazingly kind of you, right? And benefits me, right? So we can find this anywhere. Amazing. What else? I do private sessions. If you're like, hey, this sounds pretty good, I want to get into this. I do private one-on-one meditation sessions, which are really good for focusing on something that is particular to you. Like we keep things general here, but like maybe like anxiety is a good. Maybe you have like a particular type of anxiety that you want to like see if meditation can help you with. Like that's something that we could work on together. Steve, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I also do stuff with corporate. So like maybe you want to bring this into work or something like that. Just email me and we can figure out a time to do any and all of these things. And speaking of email, this is the time where I test my typing skills. Looks good. That's my email. Email me. In case you're not looking at chat, it's keith@meditationbreaks.com. Email me at any time, really, right? Unless I'm sleeping, I'll try to get back to you in a timely manner. Okay, so I know everyone has a lot to do to prepare for tomorrow for Thanksgiving, probably. So that'll be all for today. Thank you for being here, and happy Thanksgiving to those that are in the States, and have a wonderful week for everybody. Okay? Zully, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. All right, take care, guys.